to FM Tahiti. I hope you're all doing well. As is tradition, we're back for our next golden generation of players. That's right, every single intake we have had since starting this game has been a golden generation, and I've not looked at any of these players, so I have no idea whether my head of youth development is descending further and further into madness with each passing year, whether he's actually got it right, which is probably by chance at this stage. But we've got another golden generation, and Joseph Dunn is meant to be the diamond, and Andrew Thomas is meant to be the one who's the most kind of influenced by our head of youth development. From looking at the names, there's nothing there that stands out in terms of they're related to anyone we already know. There's no son in there. We'll have a look at them. So this golden generation tag again, I think I've mentioned before, I'm not entirely sure why, but I think it's just because as our reputation goes up every year, and as our coaches get better every year, and the personalities get better every year, and I think this year as well we managed to get them to upgrade some of the intake slightly. Not any of the facilities, but I think they managed to up the coaching or something like that, which means they'll be a little bit better. And again, because the club's just gradually riding a sort of wave of success and getting further and further up the kind of reputation table, I think it means we've managed to draw in better and better players within our kind of local area, which means I think eventually we'll hit a ceiling without having better facilities. But let's have a look at the youth candidate team then. So in terms of personality, this is pretty bad. No professional players of any stripe. There's no determined players. Best we've got is resolute and balanced. There's no model citizens or anything like that, so our staff actually haven't been particularly influential, because a lot of our staff are actually quite good. In terms of best players, so Joseph Dunn was the one they picked out, but actually when I sort by potential, Grant Herbert just peaks. Let's look at Joseph Dunn first. So his goalkeeper, we got plenty of good goalkeepers. We're starting to get really irritated by the fact we keep getting like the golden pick being a goalkeeper. I think basically in the 6 seasons, 3 or 4 have been goalkeepers, and then one was McCormack and one was Spearling. And that's about it. So actually only 2 outfield picks, or maybe 3 out of 6 is not great considering. Yeah, we've got keepers. We'll give a contract. But yeah, Grant Herbert then. He doesn't look particularly great. Apparently he's got potential, so we'll probably keep him. Charlie Hall, again, could be good. Mental attributes, nothing special. But, none of them seem particularly great. Maybe these 2 down here we might look at, and Andrew Thomas. Maybe Sam Thomas as well. But they're really poorly rated for potential. Okay, Chris McCallum, special. Finn Lee, actually to me looks reasonable. I mean, because he's a left back, we'll get him because we're always in demand. But his mental attributes aren't terrible. His physical ones aren't either. Alex Jackson, but again, he's on the left, so we might get him just because it's a hard position to fill sometimes. He's nothing special, quite short as well. Glenn Ackle could be alright. He's got dribbling, finishing, first touch, good determination, teamwork and work rate, good acceleration, fitness. He could be okay, but again, we've got a lot of good players ahead of him. Jordan O'Brien, special. Jason Hall could be okay. I do a job for a different team, probably won't be for us. Nick Ingham, good passing technique. Yeah. Andrew Thomas, who's resolute. Again, doesn't actually look that good, but he's 6'5", centre back, left footed. We'll probably give him a contract. Sam Thomas, yeah. Aaron Foster, Lewis Adams. So basically, pretty poor intake. We'll offer some contracts out. Try and make sure the club's stocked up in the key positions. But again, it's not a good golden generation. I think it's really the fact it must be using that term comparatively rather than in an absolute sense. We just keep getting this sort of misleading headline, but I guess they have to do it that way, because if you had a golden generation tag or descriptor used only when you actually had like an England early 2000-esque intake, then it would actually make it really obvious that you've got some high potential players in there. So I guess the fact it's relative is fine. So I've got these. I'll sign them up. This episode's not going to be long. I'll probably release at the same time as a different episode. Just schedule-wise, to let you know what's coming up. Actually, we'll do the Inter-Island Cup as part of this episode. But we've got the early quarter-final coming up against Nadi, and the winner of this one will play the winner of Tetero versus Marist Fire. So we put off meeting a really big team till at least the semi-finals, and by big team I mean Tetero, who we've beaten before, if they get through, which then means we'll probably take on Team Wellington or Auckland in the finals. It puts off having to face a New Zealand side until right at the very end. But we've obviously got to win these matches first. But that's what we've got coming up. So we'll probably... I'm going to play the cup final now. So this just isn't a tiny episode. And then we'll probably come back for the quarter-final, unless something weird goes on here. We played one match in between the last episode and this, which was a 3-1 win of the Skybrights, with Tamangaro coming on and getting a hat-trick. He's replacing Yanin. So we'll come back in a second or two for the final. Okay, so we're back. I signed up those youth prospects, golden or not, so the team sorted out there. And clearly our youth policy's working, so we just got news items to say our under-23s won the gold title. So they're top of that league. They can't get promoted beyond that, but they've won that, which I think is first for the club. Which obviously means we've got a promising youth setup, which is pretty good. But now we've got Taha, so this is the final match in the Inter-Island Cup. We look at the past winners. Taha have won it 3 times, so they're trying to get their 4th, and we're trying to get our 2nd, so it's our 3rd attempt. 3rd appearance in the final. If we go back and look at the team, we can have Gerard up front with Yanin, who is back from suspension. Dallowin, McCormick, Andre and Pons, Lamb, Hook, Florjanic and McIntyre. Florjanic's in because McIntyre is both injured and suspended. Got Tamangaro on the bench, Bouvelet, Spearling, O'Keefe, Bolt, Servo, and we're a reasonably strong bench for once. So let's see how we do. Soran's not had much game time because I've not actually been able to rotate him in with the others playing particularly well. Good run. It's run something like a 40 match unbeaten run or something like that, or 13 in the league plus everything else. Oh, I've never had this. Pick someone out from my under-23s team. It's going to have to be between him and him, I guess. Yeah, Paul Manuel, homegrown. That's a lot of questions. These are cup final, I guess. Away we go. So Taha have not only beaten us in a final before, they've knocked us out in the kind of final stage before as well, so we're not massive fans of Taha. You've got Park Dong-suk on the bench. They've got different Jordan. Not Max and Jordan, I don't think. I've got Mikhail Jordan, who's the right Marquesan winger that we used on the international side. Dre tries to slip that one in. Interesting, almost back heel. Dug that out. They've got Pui as well. It's pretty good. Narendana, one player of ours. Laurent done pretty well against us. They've got Prevost as well, I think, is Marquesan. No, he is French. Interesting, he's declared for France. think he might have been. Oh no. Got distracted then. He was almost through. I think Prevost might be Marquesan and French as his second nationality, but he's declared for France. So I think he was one of the players I tried to get to declare for Marquesa. Back to Smith. Back to Huck. Long ball. The top, Jared's through. That was weird. The ball kind of trickled towards the goal. I'll have to watch that one again. I don't know if Gerard was actually tackled and it was the tackle that was pushing it towards the goal at that stage. Huck went long because the wing backs are pushed up and he didn't have any options. I just mishit that and then Buchanan has stolen his goal, but as long as one of them scores, I don't really care. There we go, one goal. Took 25 minutes. We're ahead. There's McCormack, they're a good pairing. Spearling's increasingly getting overlooked. Dallowin. Gone on, long Andre. Penalty, bit soft. A little bit soft, that penalty. We'll take it though. Because we won't score from it, okay. Yanin's not got a great conversion rate. Back in. A little bit aimless, some of those passes. But they are a stronger team, so they're a bit harder to break down than some of the players, teams we've played against before. This might be their counter. Plays over on the far side, I think. Oh no, it's ours. Dallowin nicking that one. It's a beautiful move. His 40th goal. There's Champagne Roar 2 football. Mix it. It's a big lad as well. Just one over each time, like a rugby move. Demonstrating against AS Chancellor that we can concede a few. Recently, I think was it 7-3 or something like that, so we scored plenty but conceded plenty, so 2 might not be enough. Go on, Flajanic. Long ball. Almost no goal. Delmas, I think, is Marquesan as well. I recognise that name. Go on, to Lamb. He's keeping hold of it. To recycle the ball a lot better than we have done in the past. The long ball tactic. Again, scramble. Just creating lots of dangerous chances, even if they're kind of half chances in the box. Someone stop him. There we go. Happy if we just went to half time now. Jared's through. Ooh, 41st goal. Jared's a lot more selfless than Yanin is. Although Jared actually had much of a chance on there, but... So Janik's doing alright. I like this kind of style we've got at the back, because we've got the wing backs rather than full backs. Attacking full backs. But basically push up a little bit further. And help with things like the overlap, which is good when we're on the attack. In that sense. But when it goes back to the centre backs, if the wing backs have gone too far forwards and they're isolated, then they kind of revert to that long ball. So I think I've got riskier passes or to make it a bit more interesting. So McCormick's off, and they've brought Dong Suk on. Probably gonna have to bring off. Yanin's got his hat tricks. Bring him off. Gerard can stay there. And I might eventually bring him off for Tamangara and then switch to Tamangara being like a poacher or a target man. we'll still stay fairly attacking, because even with one up front, Gerard's enough of a handful. Narendona, relatively quiet for them. Divided loyalties. Andre steals that. Oh, that's a bad pass. Interesting. Must be offside, yeah. Interesting attempts. Don't know why they thought he wouldn't be offside. So far offside. I mean, 3-0 still comfortable even a man down. It's a little bit tense. You go for 3 up front, because they're 3 goals down and a man ahead. Gerard disallowed. Another one for, I think he was offside. I don't understand that. And you think he probably was, but I just don't think the replay made that particularly clear. Right, let's bring on Tam. No, let's do it through the tactics screen. It's easier to change the roles and things. There's a poacher. He did get a hat-trick when he's playing as a poacher against Skybright, who's replacing Yanin because he was suspended, and one of the goals he scored was actually pretty good. He wasn't just him near the goal toe poking it in, he actually took the ball down inside the area, ghosted past the player and slammed it home. Considering he's like 6'7" or something ridiculous, it looked a bit weird. Not just 6'7", he's broad across. Can I bring on a sub? Who deserves this? Seth Waite, I guess. This is a swan song, because he's not that old, but he's there we go, 3-0. They didn't challenge us too much. Loving the ticker tape. So there we go, we've won another cup, so we've won 3. Our regional cup, the Inter-Island Cup, which is our FA Cup, and the Super Cup. So if we were Man City, we'd be claiming we've done the treble at this point. It's a decent amount of silverware. Winner, winner, winner. So we've got these 2 left to focus on now. And what I noticed was I didn't raise, they're happy. Well, it's not said it this time, but what I noticed was when we won the Mutiny Trophy, it said I was now an icon at the club. My name was mentioned in the same kind of breath as Yannick Yanin, so I'd moved up from favoured into icon with that Mutiny Trophy win. So we got another trophy here. Maybe if we win the title, the OCL will get pushed into this bit. So let's go competitions. Go for landmarks, that's easier. So we were runners up in the championship. For some reason it's not mentioned all the runners up in the other cups we've done before, but we've won the Mutiny Trophy 3 times, Inter-Island Cup twice, Shield of Pride once, and the Premiership once, and the Super Cup once. So the only competitions that are kind of outside this that we've not won would be the Championship, which I guess if we go to a different club we can have a go at winning, and the OCL and the Club World Championship. The Club World Championship I don't think we'll ever win. So there we go, another successful cup run for us. Thanks very much for watching. We'll come back hopefully for the OCL quarterfinals.